So Biden was in an interview with George Stephanopoulos, and I know, tough name. George Stephanopoulos was a Senate staffer before. He was Clinton's press secretary. He's now a host of the Today Show, or I think it's Good Morning America. Yeah, Good Morning America with Robin Roberts and all the rest of them. So just kind of an establishment figure type deal, right? So he interviews Biden, and the Democrats have been really in a big fight right now, and it's, do we get rid of the filibuster? So for those of you who don't know, the Senate is one of the houses of power here in our country. Like Congress, right? They're the other half of Congress. They're the other powers. So, essentially, what happens is in the Senate, you have what's called a filibuster, where someone can stop a bill, interrupt it, and interrupt the entire order of the Senate, meaning the entire business. In a sense, it's the day-to-day dealings of the Senate, right? And they can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, or just cause debate, 30 hours of debate or whatever they wanted, so that the bill either A, doesn't go through, or B, they can hold it off, right? It's kind of a dumb thing. It's super stupid. And so Joe Biden made this thing where after Joe Manchin said, yeah, I'd support reform, he says, hey, Joe Biden says, hey, maybe we should go back to the talking filibuster. So what they have now is basically, hey, there's an intent to filibuster, but it's not going to happen. We just want to filibuster and hold it up. Sort of the same thing, but you don't have to talk, right? And you can deny a quorum, which is, you need a quorum. You need enough people to be in the Senate to host a meeting or whatever, and host business. The talking filibuster is, if you call a filibuster, you have to make it painful. It makes it painful where you have to essentially go up to the platform, stand on the Senate floor, and talk your ass off, basically. And it's essentially that makes it so that it makes it basically is so that it makes it painful so that you you don't have too many people doing it. Now, there's a reason why they got rid of it back when Joe Biden was still in the Senate. That's how old he is. It is because it stops, if you have a talking filibuster, again, this is when you can go and talk for as many hours as you want or days. What happens is everything else in the Senate stops. Everything. I mean, if you have a new secretary, right? Let's say you have a new cabinet secretary being confirmed, a general, a sub-cabinet person, ambassadors, Supreme Court justices, circuit court judges. Maybe you have another bill that is already going to be voted on. Maybe you have hearings. Maybe you have whatever the heck it might be. It's all stopped. All of it while this goes on. Here's the problem, right? The Democrats only have 51 votes, with Kamala Harris being the tie-breaking vote. And so if they were to go with this, they don't have it takes 60 votes to stop this, to stop the filibuster, right? And so that is the biggest problem, right? So, in a sense, they would be screwed either way, because, okay, you bring that back, you bring back the talking filibuster, you need 60 votes to then allow it to go from debate to an actual vote. Problem is they don't have the 60 votes. And so my argument is this. They're never going to get the minimum wage. H.R. 1, which is the Voting Rights Act, basically reinstating a lot of the Voting Rights Act because Republicans are taking that away. If if you want all of that to get through in the Equality Act and the Green New Deal, well, they won't do that. But the Green New Deal, anything like that, Republicans are going to block it. And Mitch McConnell has come out saying, "I'm going to go scorched earth in the Senate. You're going to see. You thought what I did was terrible." He's threatening to bring brand new tactics into the game, so that he can object to absolutely everything, hold up the process, and there you go. So now I have to explain to you something. The whole point, the part where I said it's going to go from debate to a vote, is called cloture. Is where you cloture, CLOCHURE. That is where you go and you ask for a unanimous consent to go and continue the vote. They don't have that in the Democratic Party. You want to know when they had that? Back in Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. When, for one of them, the Civil Rights Act, they literally filibustered for 81 days. They let that happen because the Democrats had the 60 votes to say, okay, great, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but we're going to give African American people the right to vote and the right to live in this country without having to be lynched or, have colored signs everywhere, colored drinking fountains, lunch counters, pretty much anything, right? So they don't have that now. So instead of doing all of this, they should just get rid of the damn filibuster. Get rid of the goddamn thing. Because what are the Republicans going to do? They're going to continue what they did back in 2011, 2016, 2015, 2016, is this obstructionist shit that they continue to do. And by the way, they're not going to care. They don't care about helping the American people. And then you're never going to get your legislation through, Democrats. And then guess what? You can't come back and say, hey, we raised your minimum wage. Hey, we got you recurring checks. Hey, recurring checks. Hey, we got this. Hey, we got that. They should just do everything through reconciliation. 51 votes, because guess what? The Republicans would have done it on day one. Day one. They would have already gotten rid of it. I'm not kidding. So enough is enough. They need to get rid of this. And this whole, we'll bring back the filibuster. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. Way, way worse. So I just wish that they would get rid of it, that we could have the 51 votes, that they could pass the minimum wage and everything else they want. But no, they're playing this dumb shit, and it's this half-assed measure. Remember what I said with Naima Balhawa on my channel? If you didn't watch those that interview and those video clips, you should go watch it because it's a good video. It's a good interview with him. He said he's doing incremental shit. He's doing incremental change. Little half-assed things that are not going to sustain, and they're not going to be helpful. It's only going to be partly helpful. And this won't be any helpful at all. So, there you go. Joe Biden again supporting another, half measure and not doing anything to make real change.